If you're an iPhone user, you probably had that passing thought of whether or not you should buy the Apple Watch. It's hard to argue with its very attractive design and its companionship to the Apple ecosystem. Like, who can argue with a watch that can give you the ability to see a photo on an even smaller screen that isn't your phone? Being able to check your workout progress in case the machine that you're using isn't doing that for you already. An app that teaches you how to breathe, because Lord knows some of us need a breather after that intense raid on Destiny 2 with the boys. And last but not least, the most prestigious feature about the Apple Watch, only exclusive to Apple Watch owners. A Mickey Mouse that tells you what time it is whenever you tap him.
It's 2:16.
I don't know what the fuck you're laughing at, I'm late for work. All joking aside, the Apple Watch was a sign that the future was finally here. Having a multifunctional thing on your wrist like your James Bond was enough to sell 4 million in the first quarter. Even though smartwatches have been in the market for a while, nothing really ever gets popular until Apple does it. But before you go out and fall victim into buying one yourself, I would recommend you pause for a second. Because here's the thing. If you're looking at an Apple Watch and you're saying to yourself, yeah, I probably need this, the answer is you probably don't.
Do I need this? Maybe not, but I want this. I need to experience all the new features that's coming in. And I just think this is just a precursor to everything that's going to change in the phone industry.
I had 2 Apple Watches within the course of 3 years, the Series 4 and the Series 5. Before I bought my first one, I never really had a plan as to what I was gonna do with it, because admittedly, I just thought it would just be cool to have. But after looking back after all these years, I realized that I never really did anything with it. I'm not a physically active person, nor am I a rich billionaire, which is what the Apple Watch seems to be catering towards. So I ended up finding out I never actually even opened up the menu in at least like 6 months. And I don't even remember what I did the last time I opened it up. Basically, the thing about the Apple Watch is that it's only catered towards certain people, and it's not a vast majority of people either. My point is to find out what exactly could you use the Apple Watch for if you're not going to be working out or just being physically active with it. And the truth is, the fact that you have an iPhone kind of defeats the purpose of the watch entirely. Everything that the Apple Watch does, the iPhone does 10 times better. Other than the telling of time, the Apple Watch is supposed to be a little iPhone on your wrist. But other than the fact that my thumb takes out about 60% of the screen, you can only do so much with it. But let's first get into the useful aspects of it. Apple Pay is actually really convenient on the Apple Watch. It was also pretty funny to see cashiers' reactions when it first came out.
Card is declined.
Oh, okay. I might just go to the car real fast. Another useful aspect to it is the camera app, which gives you a live feed from your phone's camera. Useful for when you just can't trust anyone, and if you're really smart with it, you might just find a variety of ways to use this. Legal or not, there are in fact many ways, and that's all I gotta say about that. I could also see how the walkie-talkie app has some uses, but the convenience of it gets thrown out the window the minute you realize you need someone else to have the Apple Watch also. A lot of the cool aspects of the Apple Watch come from the faces, which is the thing that you're going to be looking at the most. A lot of the faces have unique features like showing you the weather, battery life, and most importantly, well, the time, and can also be customized. And at last, the most useful thing about the Apple Watch, the ability to make your phone ding because you lost your phone under the couch. Okay, where the fuck is my phone? Alright, so I just used a little bell thingy. Oh, somewhere down here, I suppose. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, there that is. I don't know what that's doing there. No explanation for that. I think that this is it. Oh. Oh, well, at least I know now. Okay. Alright. Thought I lost you, buddy. And that's about it in terms of things that I actually found useful. Everything else about the watch that isn't about exercise is just app extensions. A lot of the apps on the watch are completely useless and only serve a purpose if your phone isn't in your hands. For example, there's an app on the watch that lets you scroll through Reddit. Like, why the fuck would you do that? Another would be duplicates of the apps that are already on your phone. Like the music, phone, podcast, photos, and pretty much 80% of the apps that the watch has is also on your phone. Which makes you question, when would you ever need to use the watch version of these on purpose? It's useful when the phone and the watch work together until you realize the watch is just telling you things you already know. It's also amazing how incredibly stupid you look when you read a message using the watch just for you to pull out your phone to text back. And one other thing, if you thought you were going to be cool if you answer your phone using your watch, not only do I recommend you looking in the mirror first, it's also not that great, especially if you're outside. The speakers aren't all that loud and you'll be constantly finding yourself putting your wrist in your ear. The app store for the watch is very laughable. There are barely any apps. And I don't mean in numbers, I just mean in like variety. There's like 40 breathing apps, 20 golf apps, 20 news apps, and 1,000 fucking fitness apps, as if the watch doesn't come with one of each already. You might as well just choose them depending on the color. There are games on it too, but they're very one and done and not very fun. I am also a poet and I didn't know it. And last but not least, the one thing that really annoys me is the dependency on the iPhone. Sure, Apple never meant to replace your iPhone, but it seems like it can't do a whole lot without it. Like, you can't even activate it without your iPhone. You can't download more breathing apps without your phone. You can't adjust certain settings without your phone. You can't even get new faces without your phone. Then you're probably wondering, well, what about the LTE versions? Well, for the Series 4, I actually switched to the regular version. The reason for that is because I never found a use for the LTE. I never really found myself in a situation where I had to put my phone somewhere and all I had was my watch. And the 3 or 4 moments where I actually was away from my phone, the watch had difficulty receiving messages for some reason. And it's mostly thanks to Apple's iMessage. Sometimes I would only receive iMessages, and sometimes I would only receive SMS messages. I'm not sure if that was only a specific situation for me, but I've noticed others having the same problems as well. And you would only receive the missing messages until your phone is finally nearby. Never really had an issue with incoming calls though. I could only ever find the LTE useful for, again, if you're working out, but that's not what we're talking about. So in my very essay-written conclusion, the thing about Apple smartwatches is that if you're not the kind of person that wants to monitor or track your daily workout regimen, then I don't really see the point in getting one. But the truth is, you can get smartwatches that can do almost the exact same thing for a tiny fraction of the price of an Apple Watch. Like checking your workout progress, listening to music, checking the weather, checking on your messages. They all have something like that. So you might want to think of that before dropping almost $400 on a watch. I like my Apple Watch and all, but until I see a significant upgrade, I don't think I'm gonna upgrade mine anytime soon. Well, thank you for watching, guys. I'm pretty new to this, so I'm gonna try to get as much better as I can. So please drop a like, and if you like this channel, well, you know what to do. Thanks for watching.